Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Go So Beautiful. My name's Becky and today is Friday, so it's time for another Friday Sews video. Friday Sews was started by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room, and it's a hashtag that many sewing vloggers use to share what they've been working on and talk about sewing. So do a search on hashtag Friday Sews and you'll find all kinds of sewing vloggers and YouTubers who love to sew. So today I want to talk about what I made, what I've been working on. I've actually been doing a lot of sewing, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to share because some of it is boring and repetitive. I had a pile of things I had made sitting on my table waiting to be fixed. And I decided rather than start a new project, I would go ahead and work on those things. I don't have pictures of all of them, but what I do have is, I'll show you what I can. So the first thing I did, I had made a pair of Duet trousers in a black ponte as a collaboration with Megan from Megan G Makes. And I had put elastic in the waist, and the elastic was just a little bit too tight. And I knew that the ponte pants were supposed to be that you didn't have to put elastic in them. They actually were made to be worn with just a knit waistband, yoga waistband. So I took the elastic out and they fit pretty good. They fit fine. However, when I wore them yesterday, I was wearing them yesterday, and they just kind of started getting bigger, it seemed, as the day grew on. So I think I'm going to put the elastic back in the waistband, but I'll probably make it a little bigger so it's not so snug. So that was the first thing I worked on. The second thing was what I'm wearing, and that is these Pietra pants. I'll stand up and show you. If you remember from previous video, my Pietra pants were pretty big in the waist specifically. So I took the waistband apart, including the elastic in the back, and I took the center and the two front seams in about a total of 2 inches. I took a 1/2 inch out of the front seam and then a 1/4 inch out of each of these for a total of 2 inches. And then I put the elastic back in and sewed it down and tried them on. The waist fit very, very nicely. However, the legs seemed really to be too wide. So I then narrowed down the inseams on the legs, and actually I think I narrowed them on the outer seam, and I really like the way these fit much better. So I couldn't tell you exactly what size I made, but I'm pretty happy with the fit. It's just that I had to make a lot of adjustments to make them fit this way. They were also came out a little bit too short, so I added this this cuff here. So that was the second thing I work on, and that was pretty involved. The next thing I worked on was my donut PJs, which I had shown in another video. I made these donut PJs, and I know it was a simplicity pattern. I used this simplicity pattern, which is a unisex pattern, and I've come to realize that if you make anything with a unisex pattern, specifically simplicity, This is number S9455 is the drawer number. But if you make anything that's a unisex, designed for unisex, it's going to be big. I went by the measurements on the pattern, and the pants still came out pretty baggy. So I unpicked the waist seam on these. Excuse me. I unpicked the waist seam on these. I took the pockets out and I took them in probably an inch or more. I don't know. Anyway, they fit much better. And then I went ahead and made the top because I had it already cut out and I wanted to get these finished. And this came out really nice. The placket here in the front gave me fits, okay? It's not that hard to sew as far as the construction, but because it's a knit, it's stretched. And the first thing they have you do is they do have you put interfacing in each side of this placket, which I did. But then when I sewed it to the center front seam, the center front stretched and the placket didn't. So I finally, after trying to get it to fit a couple of times, made another placket without the interfacing. So I got it to fit in, but then when I went to sew this part together at the bottom to make them lap over, those pieces weren't matching either, and because it was stretching out. So finally I put some interfacing in that little area there. I don't know if you can see that. I basted one side of the placket to the bottom, and then I basted the other side, and then I stitched them. And it calls for buttonholes. I wasn't about to spend any more time sewing on this. I put these snaps in, and you really don't even need all of them. You can just, because it fits over my head. So those are done. I'm done making pajamas. The next thing I worked on was my toile for the Marlow Sweater by True Bias. And this is something a sweater I've been wanting to make for a long time. And I finally got it made. And I used this black polar fleece. It's really cheap. And then I didn't have enough for the cuffs and the waistband and the front neckband. So I used a cotton spandex knit. But this is the most comfortable sweater in the world. And I don't know if I'll wear it out, but I love it. And I am definitely going to make this in something else. I haven't decided what yet. I did want a blue sweater, and I bought some fabric for a blue sweater. I'll show you that later, but I don't know if it's going to be heavy enough. I might just make another polar fleece sweater because this is really comfortable. And I didn't put buttons on it because it's a toile. So then the other thing I made, I had made this pink hoodie. This hoodie, this was a hoodie, and this is the, what is this? It's a Love Notions pattern. I'm drawing a blank. I'll put a description in the, when I edit this. Anyway, I had made it a hoodie, and I didn't really care for the hoodie. It didn't lay right. So I decided to take the hoodie off, and I made it into a cowl neck. The only thing is I didn't have enough fabric to make as big of a cowl neck as it has on the pattern. So I just made it a little bit shorter. So it's kind of like a cowl turtleneck. And this, you know how you have one of those days where you make the same mistake like 3 times in a row? I think at least I did this at least twice in a row. I wanted this print on the outside, but I kept sewing it on with the pink on the outside. I did it twice at least. And so finally I went and I decided I needed to have a snack or dinner or something. So I went up, made dinner, and then I finished it again afterwards. But I'm much happier with this. Okay. And then the final thing that I worked on was my dog coat. I showed you all a picture of that. It was too long, and so I just took the binding off and shortened it, and I think I moved the Velcro on it too, and it fits her perfectly. So now I want to move on to what I am planning to make. I had a little bit of a indecision, shall we say. I had asked you all if you thought I want to make the Ermine blouse from Fibre Mood. And I asked you all if I should use some blue double gauze with white ditzy flowers that I have gotten from Minerva, or if I should use some lavender with white daisies rayon challis. And most people voted for the blue double gauze. And after thinking about it and listening and reading the comments, which someone pointed out, I believe it was Sarah from Naughty Known Crafts. If you haven't seen her channel, go check it out. That the double gauze might look a little prairie-ish. And I thought about it at first. I thought, well, it's kind of a prairie-ish looking blouse. But then I was unrolling it and handling it, and I thought, you know, this feels kind of stiff. And I don't know. I just decided I didn't want to use that blue double gauze. But I really didn't want to use the rayon challis because I want to use that for something else. So I decided to try and find a solid, and because it's got a pretty yoke detail and gathering, I thought a solid would work better. And I don't have that many solids that are like shirting type of solids. So I went to the thrift store last summer and picked up this pink men's shirt. It's really big, and it's got kind of a textured detail in it. And I think I'm going to use this, if not to make the final version, at least to make a toile with it, because it's a pretty color for one thing. I love pink, and I think this pattern in it will look really well, look really nice. I did trace off the pattern last night. It's the first time I've ever used a Fibre Mood pattern, and I think you have to add seam allowance. I'll have to double check, but I will be working on that hopefully this week. Other things that I want to work on are the actual Marlow sweater. After making it in this polar fleece, I started looking online for some other type of sweater knit fabric, because I have some, but I'm not sure I want to use it. That sounds stupid. Anyway, I wanted something really soft and cuddly. So and actually what I wanted was a cotton, what I wanted was a sweater like I get from Land's End. And I looked at the description. They have beautiful cardigan sweaters, cotton, fine gauge cotton modal knit is how they're described. So I put that in my Google search bar and for fabric, and came up with some things from Fashion Fabric's website. So I ordered it. I found this, and this is, I really think I wanted navy, and I should have known better. This is actually been described as ink blue. I think maybe it looked darker on the website, but this is a fine jersey knit, sweater knit, and it's really pretty, but I'm afraid it's going to be too thin for the Marlow sweater. I don't know. We'll see. I might just make another cardigan sweater. I have other patterns. I have one called the Lisbon cardigan from Itch to Stitch, and I also have a simplicity pattern. And in addition to that, I got this charcoal sweater jersey. This is a heathered charcoal knit, and this might be a good choice too, but it's also fairly lightweight, and I think in the description it said they were medium to lightweight, but either way they'll make beautiful sweaters. Now the weather here in Georgia, it was really cold, and now it's been 60 degrees for the last couple of days. So I thought I was going to need a lot of sweaters, and now I feel like I'm going to need to start working on spring clothes. That's just the way weather is. I'm not sure what whether the groundhog saw his shadow on Groundhog's Day. I think my husband told me he did, which means 6 more weeks of winter, I think. I might have that backwards. Anyway, I have this dream of making a beautiful coat and dress ensemble, and you all saw in my last fabric haul, I bought this beautiful fuchsia pink linen, and I thought that would make the dress make up really pretty in this dress. So this is what I'm dreaming of for spring. It's actually a vintage pattern that was reissued by Simplicity, only it's out of print again. This is the original, and then this is the reissued one. I found it on eBay, and it's in good shape. It's uncut, but there is a little something got stuck to the back. Anyway, I just love this look, and what I'm dreaming of, though, I don't know, for the coat, I don't know if it exists, and that would be a pink and white houndstooth check. I found a picture on Pinterest, which I'll show you here, and this is a coat from Prada that was made in 2017 and is no longer available. I'm not sure I'm crazy about this stripe that's going down the side, but I just think that pink and white houndstooth check is adorable, and I want some. So I've been searching for that fabric. I think it's probably wool. That's the way it's described in the Prada design, and I haven't been able to find any pink and white houndstooth wool. I've found black and white. There's probably blue and white. However, I did today see on, I think it's from JoAnn, where you can have fabric designed, and there's a pink and white houndstooth, and it says they will make it in a number of different fabrics, and the one I found says they have something called faux wool. So I think I'm going to get a sample of that and see what that looks like. It's a little bit lighter pink than I'm really thinking, but I just want to see what it looks like. So if you all happen to come across any pink and white houndstooth wool, or I guess gabardine would work. Anything that would work for a coat. I've seen cotton, 100% cotton flannel. I even saw some that was cotton poplin. But nothing in wool, nothing in gabardine, nothing in a suiting type of fabric. I think we could probably get some in upholstery as well, but I don't think that would work for a coat. If you happen to see any, send me a message. Last but not least, I wanted to do a little thrifting today to see if I could get as lucky as Andra from Andra Makes. If you haven't watched Andra, check out her channel. Her last video, she showed some things that she got when she went thrifting. And my gosh, that girl hit the jackpot. She got some sewing notions, she got fabric, and really got some nice, and jewelry. She got some nice stuff. So, and I love to thrift, but I don't usually find much in the way of sewing other than fabric, or like that men's shirt. I'll use that to make something. So I went to Goodwill today and really struck out. They had some curtains and stuff, but I really just didn't need that. But I asked her where she goes, and she said she likes to go to the hole-in-the-wall type places. So I think I'm going to be checking out some hole-in-the-wall type places in the future just to see what I can find, and I'll bring it back and show you all. Other than that, things have just been pretty quiet around here. I rooted for the Bengals for the Super Bowl, but they lost, unfortunately. I rooted for the Bengals when they won the first time. I was around then, and I was hoping they would win again, but they didn't. And pretty much have been kind of hibernating. That's what I do in January and February. So nothing else to report. But thank you for watching. I'm 14 subscribers away from 1,000. So if you're watching this and haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button and the notification bell so you can see when I upload new videos. I love sharing my sewing adventures with you, and I love reading your comments, and really want to encourage you to work on your projects and come along with me. So thanks again for watching. Go Sew Beautiful. Bye-bye.